it's time to turn back the clock for yet another day here at Citizens Bank Park. We should wear those shirts more often. I think there are a lot of folks that are going to be strolling around the yard and around the Delaware Valley this week with the retro socks that are being given out thanks to the folks at Sports for All. This is a great weekend of giveaways. It's also Weekends with Schmidt as the Phils wrap up this 4-game series with the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Ben Davis, who we'll get to in just a moment when we talk a little offense, and Mike Schmidt. We're going to talk a little pitching. One of the big problems for the Phillies so far in this series, and it's odd, Mike, because it has not been a problem all year, is that the Brewers' bullpen has been better than the Phillies' bullpen.
Yeah, that's right. Now, you know, the game, Tommy, has changed over the last 15, 20 years immensely, and one of the areas of change which is really big is the bullpen, and the specialization of pitchers in the bullpen. Makes hitting tougher now because every 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th inning you got a new fresh arm, it seems like, coming in to pitch to you, and they're as good as the starters most often. How important has the bullpen been for the Phillies? Here's your graphic right here in this series I'm talking about. Obviously, we know how important it is because this is the first series where the bullpen hadn't performed well. The whole year we've won because of our bullpen's performance. Here you see, you know, both about 11 innings, same amount of innings. We've given up 6 earned runs, Milwaukee none. Strikeouts are similar. We've given up more hits and walks. So as you can see, when the bullpen's good, we seem to be good. Hopefully they'll get back to being good starting today.
And not only at the end of games to win ball games, but also to make sure that leads don't get out of hand. Now, one of the reasons why the Brewers' leads have gotten out of hand is because of their leadoff hitter, a guy that was in the Phillies organization, Jonathan Villar, really turned out to be a nice-looking shortstop.
A 5-tool player. We alluded to it yesterday in the broadcast, and he can do it all. He can run. He can obviously hit for power, but he's done it to all 3 fields, center field, left field, and right field. Lefties love the ball down, but case in point here with Jonathan Villar. That ball's down, splitting the plate. This ball's down, out over the plate. I don't even know how he hits this ball out. It ends up going off the fair pole. And, of course, lefties love the ball down and in, able to drop the head there. But for a leadoff guy to do this, it speaks volumes of him as a complete package.
Complete package, 6 for 13 in this series with 3 home runs. I think that bottom number, he's reached base safely in 48 of 53 games, not always as the leadoff hitter, but mostly as the leadoff hitter.
It's awesome, and that's exactly what you want your leadoff hitter doing. Get it on base. We've seen Odubel Herrera do that, and that leads to success, and this leads to a lot of success for the Brewers lineup.
All right, so the Phillies are looking to even up this series as we wrap up another one here at Citizens Bank Park. It will be Willie Peralta on the mound for the Brewers. He has not gone deep into games. He's given up a lot of hits. And Aaron Nola making his 12th start. We'll get to lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. By Toyota. For great summer deals, visit your local Toyota dealer or buy at Toyota.com today. Toyota, let's go places. By Citizens Bank. The next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. By Coca-Cola, the official soft drink of the Phils. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. Phillies wrap up the second series of this homestand. The Cubs are coming in for a game tomorrow night, a 3-game series starting tomorrow night. Well, before the ball game, it's retro weekend here at Citizens Bank Park. So Mike Schmidt and Greg Luzinski were part of the ceremonial first pitch. Oh, see, I thought you were throwing to Bull. I didn't know Bull was throwing along with you.
No, I mean, I threw to Ryan Howard, man.
Yes, you did. And Bull's threw to
let me keep the ball.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, and then I got to do something I've never been able to do as a player. I got to throw it in the stands.
Oh, did you throw it to the stands? That's right. You guys were not allowed to do that when you were a player. Right. Well, that's Aaron Nola warming up out on the mound. He just spent a little time with the youngster as part of the starting 9, which is normal on Sundays. Let's take a look at the lineup for the Brewers. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Jonathan Villar leads it off at shortstop. Scooter Gennett bats second. Jonathan Lucroy will hit third, followed by Chris Carter at first base. Domingo Santana is in right field hitting fifth. Boy, don't these guys get days off? Kurt Neuenhuis is in center. He'll bat sixth. And the bottom third of Perez, Flores, and Peralta. And they will face right-hander Aaron Nola, who celebrated his 23rd birthday yesterday. 4-4 with an ERA of 2.88. Good numbers, Ben. He hasn't gotten a lot of run support recently, but very good numbers.
Very good numbers overall. Not too good here at CBP. Hopefully he can change that today. 1-4 with a 4.5 ERA at CBP. But 3-pitch pitcher, that curveball is devastating. The changeup, I think, has come a long way. Definitely a pitch that he can throw to lefties, averaging just over 14 pitches per inning.
All right, Nissan keys to today's ball game. What do you guys think?
I personally think this guy Peralta throws a pretty good sinker. The guy's got to make him get the ball up in the hitting zone today and crush it when it's up there.
Easier said than done.
And they have to hold this guy down.
Jonathan Villar leads it off, and he takes low, and we're underway at Citizens Bank Park.
Does Aaron resemble Teak Tekulve at all out there?
He does look a little bit like Teak. Tall, slender guy.
27.
I said his number actually looks different for some reason on him. I don't know why. It just looks like just a different look than these unis. 2 balls and no strikes to Villar. Villar is 6 for 14 in this series with 3 homers. He's the 4th Brewers shortstop to have a home run in 3 consecutive games, joining the likes of Jose Valentin. Overall hitting .313 with 5 homers, 25 runs batted in. And there's a strike. It's 3-1.
Well, that answers that question. They do hold the mitt right in the middle of the plate on a 3-0 count.
Yes, they do.
And a 3-1 and a 3-1 count. That's good. Ball still moves.
Exactly.
Still moved to the corner.
Trust your movement.
Aaron's thrown all fastballs so far to Villar. Let's see if he runs one off his hip here, if he decides to throw a hook. With a count full, 3-2. Looks like it's going to be a fastball. And it runs outside, ball 4. So Villar is a leadoff base runner. He's not only shown pop in this series, but he's an excellent base stealer, leading the big leagues with 20 stolen bases. But he has been caught 7 times, including once in this series, by that guy.
Yes, we got the man that can catch you. Good combination, Nola to Cameron Rupp, time-wise, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Nola's incorporated that slide step more and more this year, too, which sort of enables him to get the ball to the plate quicker. Scooter Gennett 3 for 12 in the series so far for the Brewers.
Big one yesterday.
Huge swing yesterday. So we showed those numbers with the bullpen. Part of it is that these games have been 1-run ball games in the 9th inning or the 8th inning that the Nationals and the Brewers have put away with some extra runs late. A looper out to left field. That'll drop for a base hit. So the Brewers are the first 2 runners aboard here in the top of the first.
That's where hitting behind someone with some wheels at first base really benefits you as a hitter, knowing most likely you're going to get a fastball to hit. And he took advantage right there.
You're exactly right. He's going to get a lot of fastballs away with Villar on first.
Well, now Jonathan Lucroy, who's hitting .500 in this series and has hit in 8 consecutive games. Ryan Braun has the day off, so Lucroy moves up to the 3-hole. On the inside corner, and it's 0-1.
You said, Tom, don't these guys get days off? 8-game hitting streak, hitting .517. He's going to be in my lineup.
You would think a catcher would have 1 day off in a 4-game series. But, you know, he's missed time over the last couple of years because of injuries, so he doesn't want to miss time if he doesn't have to. 0-1 pitch. Curveball. 0-2. Aaron, in his last outing against the Nationals, went 6 innings, 5 hits, and 2 earned runs. He left trailing 2-1, and that was one of those games that the Nationals popped some runs late to put the game away. It wound up being a 5-1 setback. Runners lead off first and second. Curveball waved at it, missed. 1 away here in the first. Well, that'll bring Chris Carter to the plate. Carter is 2 for 9 in this series, Murph. He's having power-wise a pretty nice year for the Milwaukee Brewers.
He certainly is. He is a guy that the Phillies have seen a couple of times this year, and he's had some pretty good numbers. Not as well here at Citizens Bank Park, but the numbers against the Phillies when we were in Milwaukee certainly were impressive. And he hits the ball everywhere in the ballpark. You just take a look at his spray chart. Hits all over the field. But look at the home runs. 3 to left, 10 to center, and 1 to right field. So able to show power to all fields as well. In a dangerous situation right now, Aaron Nola's going to have to be careful with this guy.
I think that's surprising that his power or that his spray chart has hits all over. I would look at him, just looking at him size-wise, as just being a pull hitter.
I don't think he has to be because of his size. He realized he can go out anywhere. Yeah. He lets the ball travel, catches it deep.
Pickoff play. VR's back easily.
I agree with that. We talked yesterday. He's got a nice, smooth, on-balance swing. I think he pulls off speed pitches. That's where he gets his left field hits. But the at-bats I've seen of him in this series, fastballs seem to be hit straight away. Hit the sacrifice fly yesterday, hitting an inside fastball straight away.
Right. Nola steps back towards second base. Carter is 1 for 3 against Aaron Nola. He saw him earlier this season out in Milwaukee. Runners go and then stop. Pitches a strike, and it's 0-2. I'll tell you, you saw Rupp look over at first base. Scooter Gennett is getting such a huge secondary lead. I kept thinking if you crept in behind him, you might have a chance to get him.
That's a long way for Tommy to go.
It is.
For a pickoff. And you vacate that position over there. But you're correct. A chopper in the infield, a double play ball. He could actually look how far off he is. You're exactly right. That's a great perception. We get a strikeout of Carter. You're right. He's almost halfway to second base.
Halfway there. And it's textbook because he's basically going as far as Tommy Joseph is.
Right. How about Nola? First 2 guys get on and he strikes out. Well, one guy for sure tough to strike out. Lucroy. Quality pitches to these guys. Wow.
Well, he's used that breaking ball to his advantage, and now Domingo Santana, who is 3 for 8 with a double and a home run in this series in 3 games, or 2 games, I should say, and he takes strike 1. Yesterday, he was bringing the lumber, brought to you by Yellowwood brand pressure treated pine.
Fastball here off Hector Neris. Supposed to be away, creeps back out over the plate. And that is your Yellowwood bringing the lumber.
That turned out to be the run the Brewers needed. They added a couple more to make it a 6-3 final. Runners go. Pitches in the dirt. It gets by Cameron Rupp. And VR will hold up at third base. Fortunately for the Phillies, VR slid. It's going to go down as a stolen base, a double steal.
It's one thing that always frustrated me as a catcher. Why I get charged for 2 stolen bases against.
Well, if you drop the ball like that, you can't really say anything.
No. And I think Cameron would have had a shot here. It's just a sinker.
It looked like a Pete Rose
It
dive.
did look like a Pete Rose.
He used to leave, like a yard sooner than anybody else. Kind of lay out.
Curveball 1-2.
That stolen base, the stolen base with 2 outs, stealing third. A lot of times, here he is, laying out. A lot of times you say, well, that's crazy. You're in scoring position, don't risk getting thrown out. But 2 guys stole. He brought a guy from first base to scoring position. So the double steal with 2 outs is a good play.
1-2 pitch. Breaking ball pulled foul into the Brewers dugout. He went right back to that breaking ball again. 17 pitch first inning for Aaron Nola. See Santana's numbers for the year. Off the DL after game 1 with a right shoulder strain. Fastballs foul tipped, hung on to by Rupp. Aaron Nola strikes out the last 3 hitters after allowing the first 2 guys to get on board. Runners on second and third. He goes to the fastball to get Domingo Santana. We'll head to the bottom of the first. Brewers nothing, Phillies coming up. Two in scoring position in their half of the first. Let's see what the Phillies lineup will do in their half of the first inning here. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Herrera, Galvis, and Franco, followed by Tommy Joseph starting again over at first base and Jimmy Paredes in right field hitting 5th. Cameron Rupp will bat 6th in the bottom third of AT PHI, Hernandez, and Aaron Nola. And they will face the veteran Willie Peralta, who has not had a particularly good year. 85 hits, that leads the National League. 85 hits allowed. A lot of base runners. His whip, walks, hits per innings pitched, is close to 2, which means he's not long for a lot of these ball games.
Look at this scouting report. He does have a good arm. Mid-90s fastball, change slider to slider has not been good recently for him. And the Phillies have had his number 3-2 with a 5.83 ERA.
Odubel Herrera starts it off by slapping a ball into left field that ends an 0 for 10 slump for Odubel. Man, they got to get him going.
Well, not your typical leadoff approach to hitting, but like you say, Odubel wants to get going, and there's a good chance you're going to get number 1 right down the middle, and he didn't try to pull it. He said, I'm just going to shoot this the other way and see what happens.
Nice to see him elevate that baseball as well. One of our keys to the game you discussed, Mike, get the fastball up.
So runner at first, and here's Freddie Galvis, who is 0 for his last 15. 0 for 7 in the series as Odubel is back. Pitch is in there for strike. It's 0-1. Odubel had started off first and then stopped. That's why you saw Lucroy pop out that fast. Lucroy is a good thrower. He's thrown out 10 of the last 12 runners who have tried to steal against him. Up and stays in play, and a fan touched it. Odubel was already at second base.
Jeanette gave the fan the ball. He said, "Thank you, sir, for grabbing that ball." If I'm not mistaken,
looked like he gave him a high five.
Yeah. Will the umpires determine he has to go back to second?
No, because he was already past the second base bag.
Funny, I thought maybe that automatically sent him back.
Almost catches Jim Reynolds there at first base. That ball did carry him up high.
There we go. High five. Thank you. Nice play or whatever that was.
Well, Craig Counsell's coming out to talk to the home plate umpire, Fielding Colbreth.
Any chance we can get a little beef here? I'm yearning for a little argument by manager and umpire.
I don't know if we'll have it here.
So the opinion there is that the umpires agreed that he would have made third, whether if the fan hadn't picked.
Well, no, he was already at past second base when the fan touched it. So that's So basically, it was by rule it's determined he'd be at third.
There's a little negotiation right there. The security and the fan.
No balls and one strike with Freddie Galvis up and Herrera off third. Pitch is outside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Man, that's got to be a heavy chain, doesn't it, around his neck?
It's like Odubel's.
Swing and a miss, and it's 1-2. Fan is being escorted out, maybe to another spot.
In defense of the fan, and believe me, I agree with his rules about fans interfering with balls on the field, but didn't that ball just like take a backspin thing and kind of kick back up to him?
Kind of. There's a ground ball to second, picked by Jeanette. Herrera will score. Galvis is out at first.
Productive at bat.
Nice job, Freddie.
An RBI for Freddie Galvis, his 19th of the year.
He hit it hard and put balls in play. I mean, that's an RBI out there, just sitting there. Nobody out. He hit it hard as well. Put the good guys up 1-0.
And now Maikel Franco is the batter. That one's down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Now 3-0. He lays off.
So you can read a pitcher. If you're Maikel Franco now, you can read a pitcher, and what you can read right now is he really is, I want to say afraid, but leery of giving me a ball to hit. I mean, he hasn't come anywhere near the strike zone.
Swing and a miss. He did get the green light.
See where that fastball is, though? I mean, that's not a pitch you can do a whole lot with.
No, and it's a pitch that if you make an out on it, you want to break your helmet, right? He's walked you, and you can turn it into an out by swinging at it.
So 3-2. Broken back ground ball to third. And it's scooped up by Perez. And there are 2 outs.
He went with a slider there. See, that's why I never liked swinging 3-0. Because you think the pitcher's just going to groove one. He doesn't. Then he's able to get back into count. You swing 3-0, swing over top of pitch. You foul one off. Next thing you know, it's full count.
There's Tommy Joseph, who homered in yesterday's game.
Got himself into a great count, 3-1. Off Junior Guerra. Deposits that pitch way out in center field.
That is a pitcher's pitch right there. Inside and low.
Did you like swinging 3-0, Mike?
Actually, yes. There were pitchers that knew that I might too, but I knew who they were, and then I was, less apt to swing. We get toward the middle of the end of the game, we were tied or 1 run down or something like that. Yeah, I like to swing 3-0. But there's an art to swinging 3-0. It's just like Franco right there, just swung as hard as he could.
Right.
It's 3-0, and I'm going to turn it. The odds of him hitting a home run with that swing were very slim.
Right.
Plus, the odds of him swinging at a bad pitch with that big swing probably go up.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I hit my 500th on a 3-0 pitch
in Pittsburgh.
Ground ball towards shortstop. Up with it is VR. And the side is retired. But the Phillies do get a run on a ground out by Freddie Galvis. They'll take a 1-0 lead into the seconds. The game, and this is Aaron Nola with runners on second and third at the top of the first inning. This is precise right here.
He went and got nasty. Fastball there to end it. That is really getting out of a jam, and they're
taking charge, baby.
Plays of the game. That's the truth.
And by the way, it was first and second when the strikeout started. Eventually, it became second and third because of this double steal.
You know what's crazy about that inning is you lead off with a walk, and then he gets a hit. Jeanette gets a hit. You strike out the side.
Yeah.
You strike out the side and only throw 18 pitches.
And he does so because the righties really enhanced his curveball a little bit too.
Yes.
Here is Kirk Neuenhuis, and he takes outside at 1-1. By the way, just to confirm the clarification on why Odubel did get to third, it is the umpire's discretion that he was at second base or near it, that he would have gotten to third. There are certain rules when there is fan interference or obstruction in this case, and the feeling was that Manny Gonzalez The second base umpire felt like he was going to third anyway. There's strike 3 called. 4 straight strikeouts for Aaron Nola. And 1 out here in the second. Here's a look, just the overall play. So it goes past the first baseman.
It hits the fence now.
Right, hits the fence, pops in the air. Now Odubel is starting to make his turn around second when the fan catches it right there. That's synced up perfectly. And the umpires, and I think rightfully so.
Yes.
Oh, no question.
And Jeanette and Santana weren't even close to the play.
No.
They're not even close to the ball. Good call.
Yeah, and I say Manny Gonzalez. It's Manny Gonzalez and Jim Reynolds, who's one of the veteran umpires who's over at first base. There are rules like 7.09 and others in the book that dictate where positioning is and where base runners are. As Hernan Perez lines a single to right center field, a 1-out base hit.
Good piece of hitting there.
That ball was smoked. See it right here. The sinker up. They made that one get up, but I tell you what, he stayed inside that ball and hit it to right center. Give Odubel credit. He got on that ball pretty fast to hold him to a single. Always good to hold runners to a single, especially with a double play pitcher like Aaron Nola.
Here's Ramon Flores. Flores watches a throw go over to first. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Flores played in game 1 of this series. Overall hitting .211 with a home run and 9 runs batted in. That ball gets away from Tommy Joseph. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Cincinnati's jumped out to a 5-0 lead over Washington. Nationals having a little trouble with the Reds. Von de Jesus Jr. 2-run double. Standings in the National League East find the Nationals a game up over the Mets, who won yesterday. 4 over Miami, who the Mets beat. One ball, 1 strike to Flores, with the pitcher due up next.
Tom, you and I have talked about it. You're not completely sold on the Nats.
I am not completely sold on the Nats.
Neither am I.
And Nola steps off because there's some dancing going on by Perez. Now listen, I could be way wrong. Their offense could sustain the mediocrity that they have. I mean, it's true. I mean, they just brought up Trey Turner. That may help them. They have Murphy. I don't know if he'll continue to do what he's doing. That one is looped out towards center field. It'll drop for a base hit. Perez is on his way to third, and the throw will go to second base. So first and third with 1 man down. And that is the 3rd hit for the Brewers.
Well, good read by Perez on the base running around second. Kind of hung a little bit till he made sure that it wasn't catchable, and then it was just dumped in there perfectly for him to go to third with 1 out, which is the right play. Here you see the replay.
One of the first changeups we've seen out of Aaron Nola thus far. You're right, that is a good read by Perez.
Willie Peralta goes up to talk to Ed Cedar in the third base coach's box, so we'll see what he's going to do here.
It's got to be bunting.
I would think so. 1 for 17 on the year.
Game of baseball, we're always thinking ahead. Now, if he gets the bunt down here, Mike, do you walk VR and go after
I wouldn't
Jeanette?
mess with VR at all. Jeanette's got 2 knocks in a row. The big one in yesterday's game.
Right.
First time up in this game.
These are all the different questions you have to ask yourself. If you're a manager, people think you just go pitch by pitch. You always have to be thinking ahead.
That's right, you do. And as a manager, I injected myself into the game way too much. And I managed in the minor leagues one year. I thought I could take charge of the entire ball game from the dugout. I mean, I did a lot of hitting and running, a lot of stealing, a lot of taking, almost, like I say, injected my thoughts about the moment in the game, the situation, into forcing the hitter to do something I think he should do. I'm a big stay away from anybody that's hot guy. In other words, I'd rather load the bases than pitch to Villar all day long. That'd be anybody. I don't care who it is.
Ball's butted right in front of the plate. Cameron bobbles, throws to first. Sacrifice will be successful.
Yeah, I'm a guy. I'd already have 4 fingers up if I were manager.
Okay.
Now, people are different theories on that. Just like I'm this guy, the best hitter on their team right now. Braun's not in the lineup. Of course, LaCroix's a great hitter, but right now, load him up.
Okay.
Double up Jeanette. If he doesn't, and another manager say, I don't want to put that kind of pressure on my pitcher where he doesn't have first base open, where he doesn't have the freedom to make a bad pitch.
That's what I would think. But with Aaron Nola, I don't know if that. I think it might depend on the pitcher, in a lot of ways. I think for Aaron Nola, I don't think that phases him. The pressure on him. Now, some people say it's early in the game, you don't do it. But the Phillies do struggle to score runs, as everybody knows. Well, let's see how they do it. They're not going to do it traditionally, where they're going to walk him intentionally.
I think Pete is quite the opposite of that. I think he doesn't like to put people on base. I think he likes to make them earn their way.
He throws a curveball, and it's in there for a strike. It's 0-1.
We got on Scooter Gennett yesterday for swinging at a first pitch curveball. If I'm VR right there, I'd have been sitting all over a curveball.
Fastball outside, 1-1.
And again, that's just realizing the situation.
It's tapped foul right at home plate. Now it's 1-2. Well, let's see if he can bury one of those curveballs here.
A couple different options here. He could back foot it. He could climb the ladder with a fastball. Try and dot one in at the belt. That's why working ahead is such a key part to pitching. I'd love to see him throw a fastball in at the belt. I really would.
Have it run back off the hip?
Yeah, I would. Just make sure it's elevated, because we know what he can do with a pitch down.
Runners lead off second and third. Well, he tried to do that, and he got it in just a little bit, and it's 2-2.
A little activity over there at third base. If everybody was alert, we might have picked a runner off.
Something I'd see at my son's Little League game.
Lays off, and it's 3-2. I'll give VR credit. Scooter Gennett on deck.
Now, this is a pitch right here that'll give you a sense of a good hitter. If he's willing to lay off of a ball out of the strike zone here and not go after a bad pitch, you'll see a guy that knows what he's doing, a guy that's playing for the team. Too close to take. Tough pitch, though. First base open. Nasty slurve in by his left leg.
I think he was sitting on it.
That's a strike.
You can never sit soft and adjust to a fastball, but I think that was a perfect opportunity to sit soft.
This will be the 8th pitch of this at bat. Little number up the first base line. Nola off the hill, flips underhand and gets out of it.
Well done.
Well, he's had back-to-back innings where he's had to work out of a second and third jam. He does so here. We'll head to the bottom of the second. Phillies up 1-0. Back here at Citizens Bank Park, the Phillies have a 1-0 lead. Phillies did something today that they hadn't done since the 20th of May, and that they've only done 9 other times this year, and that's score a first-inning run. So they've scored 10 first-inning runs in the season as Paredes takes inside corner. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. And it was because of the throwing error by Willie Peralta. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Lamar Beck of Coopersburg, Pennsylvania. Phillies hit a home run in today's ball game. Then Lamar will win $100.
Good luck, Lamar.
Amazing. They have this shift on Paredes already this much?
Yep.
Wow.
Ooh. 2-2. I think it is amazing. You know, he was in the American League with the Orioles. He was with the Blue Jays, but you know, he hasn't been with a National League team since the Astros were a National League team.
Larry Boa made a good point in the coach's room before the game. We're talking just general hitting stuff and Phillies offense. You know, if any of these players look out and they see the defense shifted on them, they're doing something wrong as a hitter.
It's true. That one's blooped over to the left side, and VR is there. And there's one away.
You know, and by that I mean unless you're Ryan Howard, unless you're Ryan Braun, or unless you're somebody who's a legitimate run-producing power hitter.
Yeah, if you're not a home run guy.
Exactly. If your pattern is dominant to one side of second base, something's wrong in your approach to hitting.
It's almost at the point now where it's odd to not see a shift.
I would agree with that. Well, I mean, the numbers are.
Right now, you're looking at it. I mean, when I say, I wouldn't even say this is a shift because VR is, I mean, he's slightly shaded, but this is about as fundamentally straight up as you're going to see.
1 ball and no strikes. I think the guy that was shocking to me that there was a shift on was when we played the Marlins and there was a shift on Ichiro, of all people.
On the right side?
On the right side. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now, it wasn't all the time, but there were occasions where.
Well, you know, isn't that supported by the
It sure is.
computers?
It is.
I bet you see 300 on a batting average up on the scoreboard when a hitter walks up there. You won't see a shift.
Little dribbler left of the mound. Peralta can't get it. Barehanded and dropped by Perez. Will score it a hit. It's the 2nd hit of the day for the Phillies.
Boy, I know that feeling. You're chugging down there. You're trying to run. You're trying to run like an Olympic sprinter, and it just ain't happening. And then you're rooting for him. Please, please miss it barehanded. And you're still trying to get to first base, and you hear the crowd cheer, and you know he missed it.
Yeah. It's such a great feeling. Go, 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 Cameron.
5.1.
He's had a couple doozies this homestand.
He has.
And what do we do, Tom? We deserve them.
Every catcher does. I don't know why people don't realize that. They should get everything they can. Cody Ashe's the hitter. Ashe is 4 for 11. Or I should say 1 for 9, I'm sorry, on this homestand since his return from the minors and his rehab assignment. Takes a breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
I mentioned that to Cameron the other day after he had the 2 really bloopers. They were bloopers. And he said, weren't they pretty? He goes, they all even out. All hitters say they all even out.
Yeah, but they don't believe it.
And pitchers say they never.
I never said that.
Well,
Isn't it pitchers that say that?
No, meaning that they even out is because you'll hit 3 bullets on a given night and not have anything to show for it. And pitchers say they never even out.
I thought we were in agreement earlier this year for hitters. Maybe when Matt was here, he does not agree that it all evens out.
No, I do not agree with that. I didn't come close to being even with.
Right, you'd still be seeking hits at this point. 1 ball and 1 strike. Low, ball 2. Well, every hitter has different philosophies. Every pitcher has different philosophies. We'll make a note of it. Ben, you think it evens out?
I don't think they even out.
Oh, you don't think?
No,
I thought you were heading that way.
I don't think they even out.
All right, so you two don't. Matt doesn't, and Cameron Rupp does. So,
he does.
Yeah.
Tough pitch there, but the fielding culprits. Point. He's been that way for both sides. So as long as he's consistent, I don't have a problem with it.
Fielding is the crew chief of this umpire crew. Jim Reynolds over at first, the veteran. Manny Gonzalez at second, and C.B. Buckner at third.
Send him? Nope.
Well, you were a manager. Would you have sent him?
Nope.
As she fouls it back, Rupp did not go.
Now, if Cody or whoever the hitter has proven to me over the course of the year that he's a really good 2-strike hitter, a tough 2-strike hitter. Counting on, I'm not saying he never strikes out, but it'd be a different story. Cody struck out 100 times last year.
Takes inside, ball 4. They were really working that spot, that area. Phillies have runners on first and second. Well, tomorrow the Chicago Cubs are coming to town for a 3-game series. 2 night games and the day game on Wednesday. It's a Citizens Bank Business Person Special. The only time the Phillies and the Cubs face off here in Philadelphia. You know, the Cubs are on pace to win 117 games. Nobody's ever won 117.
How big's their lead in the Central?
It's 9.5 over the Pirates, and it's growing. They're on pace to win 117, which would top the Mariners ball club that won 116
back in 2001.
Cesar fouls it off. You weren't on that team in 01, were you?
I was still in San Diego.
That's right.
I went the next year.
And they lost 116.
I think my first 2 years in Seattle, I think we won 90-plus games.
You guys
didn't make the playoffs.
You guys didn't make the postseason.
No, we had Oakland and Anaheim. Some battles. That was such a good division that year. All that early 2000s, that American League West was tough.
Butters lead off first and second. And a liner out toward left field. Going back on it is Flores. He's under it and makes the catch. Well, the ball was hit well by Cesar, and there are 2 outs.
He had a great sound off the bat.
He did. He's what you might consider locked in right now. 3 yesterday and line drive today. That's too bad. Right at him.
Aaron Nola will be the hitter. 1 for 19 on the season. Up and in, 2 balls and no strikes.
Speaking of Aaron Nola, do you have any news on the upcoming Major League draft? I know everyone's in town working on it right now.
They've been working hard on it. It's Thursday, of course. The Phillies have the #1 overall pick, and it's either, well, we don't know definitively. I mean, there's some pretty good players. There are a couple of college hitters, a couple of very good high school hitters, one very good high school pitcher from South Jersey, Jason Groom, and a very good college pitcher from the University of Florida. You know, Matt Klentak said the other day, and Murph and I were standing there, but Matt Klentak said the other day they're going to take the best available what they deem the best available player, athlete. 2 balls and 1 strike, and it's low 3-1. And Matt, you know, Matt said, Murph, right, that he's learning a lot sitting and watching a lot of these scouts that have gone out and watched it. Charlie Manuel's been out watching some of these players as well. They're using all their resources.
Yeah, I thought one of the coolest things that Matt was talking about yesterday, just, you know, in his first year as the general manager and sitting in the war room and having these discussions, he said, you know, we've got guys from almost every generation looking at these players, you know, older scouts and young guys with analytics, and putting it all together and hearing that debate and all the debate that's going on. He said they're going to have all that information. They're hopefully going to make the best pick with all that information as well.
Charlie said he likes the 2 high school hitters. In fact, Charlie said you can't go wrong with any of the players that are listed as the potential #1 picks. He said they're all very good ball players. Question. Log on to Phillies.com. Go to the fans section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, guys, here's the question. What 2 former Phillies made the 1978 All-Star game as members of the Milwaukee Brewers? There were 2 former Phillies on the Brewers in '78 that made the All-Star game for the American League Milwaukee Brewers. Answer will be revealed a little later on. Well, nothing. Phillies on top. Aaron Nola made the final out, so he's just now finishing up his warm-up tosses. '78 All-Star game. The MVP of that All-Star game was Steve Garvey. Played in San Diego. Pete Rose started at third base in that ball game.
I didn't make it that year.
You didn't make it that year. I was just looking at that. There were only two third basemen, Pete and Ron Say.
Had a bad year that year.
Yeah. So you don't know that answer off the top of your head. You'd have to ask your teammate Larry Boa for some help on it.
Well, I'm gonna watch the game. I got Don. Never mind. I can't say it yet.
Well,
I got one of them. I think
you're right. No, you're right. Here's Scooter Gennett to lead it off.
They're not. One of them in the pitcher, is he?
He is not a pitcher. Back toward the box, right between the legs of Nola and into center field. So Gennett has 2 hits today. He's 2 for 2.
Yeah, watch your first pitch to Scooter Gennett today.
I would think that's a good approach against Nola, because you guys mentioned before, if you get behind him, and he's a smart kid, particularly because you don't want to see that curveball, I don't think.
Yeah, it's a good. It's a great approach if you get a hit.
Yeah.
If you ground out, pop up, whatever, it's 1 pitch, 1 out, and Ben and I are here going, isn't that a beautiful thing?
Yeah.
Lucroy struck out his first time up.
It does make your day, though. You get 2 hits your first 2 times up.
Lucroy 11 for his last 21. He's had himself a pretty good run, hitting over 500 during that time. In fact, he was hitting 550 with 4 extra base hits during that time coming into this ball game. No balls and 1 strike. Tapper left of the mound. Franco charges, and they get Lucroy at first. The Bob crew looks back at a busy weekend in sports as they recap the Phillies Brewers series, Game 3 of the NHL Finals, and Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Watch Breakfast on Broad, presented by Virtua, Monday morning starting at 6 over on TCN. Last night was Game 3 of the NHL playoffs. The Sharks finally got a win. Tonight is Game 2 of the NBA Finals. Chris Carter's the hitter. Carter struck out his first time up. Outside, 1-0.
Well, look, watching Aaron Nola's breaking ball, how far it breaks, how big it breaks. I'm glad I'm sitting up here.
Thankfully, that breaking ball's been on today, because you see the Brewers are hitless with runners in scoring position. Today, he's thrown the curveball 33% of the time. He's actually thrown his changeup 5%. There's a fastball on the outer edge.
His curveball holds true for the old adage, the best way to hit that curveball is don't miss the heater. I mean, he has that curveball.
Changeup. It's almost as if Carter was anticipating something toward the outer part of the plate.
Changeup is a good pitch, and the last pitch that Chris Carter is looking for right now. He came out of his hand hot. Oh, here comes a heater.
Same one he threw 2-0. Yeah, that's what's in your mind.
Fastball and a call. Strike 3, 91. 5 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. Chris Carter thought that was outside or low, but it was exactly where Cameron Rupp wanted. At least it looked that way.
Looked like the same pitch that Cody Ashley got called a strike on. Is it low?
Well, it goes back to that too close to take adage.
It's down there. But feeling.
That's being carved up by the pitcher right there if you're the hitter.
I actually anticipated. I thought it was off the plate, but our overhead shot showed it was right on the plate on the edge. 0-1 to Domingo Santana. He struck out his first time to the plate. Chris Carter's in the dugout saying, "Come on, I can get that pitch." Oh, he had his back to the play. Maybe he didn't say it. Changeup hit foul, and it's 1-2. Gotta like that changeup these last couple of batters.
I like his changeup a lot. Good speed, good movement.
As a right-handed hitter against Nola, I wouldn't think about hitting anything other than a fastball because I couldn't hit, like you said earlier. Why would I even think about showing him I can hit a curveball? I'll show you today I can hit your curveball. The only thing I would do would be try to guess fastball and hit it up the middle, keep from rolling over it every at bat against him, and just take my medicine if I had to go to 2 strikes.
Curveball, look out, the bat is going to land off the third base line. 6 strikeouts for Aaron Nola. Well, yeah, he gets 2 strikes. Even if you're going to sit fastball, you're probably going to get that curveball.
Well, that's indicative of a light grip on the bat.
And missing the ball by a mile. We'll go to the
tie.
Bottom of the 3rd. By your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Heard of your local Del Val Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com. And by Jefferson. Call 800-JEFF now or visit jefferson.edu. Last of the 3rd, 1-0 Phillies on top. They've managed just a couple of hits, including one by the guy up right now, Odubel Herrera, who scored the only run thanks to a fortunate error by the pitcher. Odubel swung at the first pitch, his only time up. out towards center field, and Neuenhuis just moves over to make the catch. One away. And Freddie Galvis is coming up. It's a nice day to be at the ballpark. We get some Turkey Hill ice cream, head out toward Ashburn Alley. Folks received the retro socks thanks to Sports for All today. Freddie Galvis, the hitter. And Galvis swings at the first pitch. 2 outs. Speaking of giveaways, Saturday, June 18th, AT&T Michael Franco bobble figurine free to all fans. It's part of a 4-game weekend between the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. Place your order now by going to Phillies.com.
We're here. We're here.
Take a pitch or two, boys. Franco grounded out his first time up. He's 0 for 1. Yeah, one of the big criticisms on Peralta is that he's throwing a lot of pitches during the course of games. Well, today it's not terrible. He's at 44. This will be 44 right here.
Well, Franco has to battle now. Peralta's just in a little bit of groove here now. Smelling a quick inning.
Tough one to hold off on.
Yes,
with
it
those
is.
2 strikes.
I like that take. Saw it all the way into the catcher's mitt. I still would love to see Michael use more of the field, more right field. I know spring training, but he did that a lot in spring training. He hit a lot of balls hard to the right side of the diamond.
That one is a bullet deep to left field. It is gone.
Well, they're right.
Wow. Home run number 10 for Michael Franco. The Phils lead it 2-0. That ball got out of here in a hurry.
Yeah,
$100 for Lamar Beck in Coopersburg in the McDonald's home run jackpot.
Way to go, Lamar.
That had Giancarlo Stanton's speed out of the ballpark.
Yeah, it did.
We may be able to get that miles per hour. That might be a good one to look at.
Exit velocity.
Yes.
Michael knew it. Would you agree, though, Mike? That's a completely different swing than we saw on the 3-0 pitch, which he ended up grounding out his first at bat. Boy, that ball was
left in 3.18 seconds, and we'll get the exit velocity because it was fast. 3.18 seconds. No balls and 1 strike to Tommy Joseph.
Well, Peralta thought he was looking at a pretty quick inning.
He did. Tommy takes something soft, and it's 0-2. Well, it's good to see from Michael Franco that he's stringing together some power in this series. That's his 2nd home run of the series.
Is that 5 against Milwaukee?
Brewer killer.
Yes, that's 5 home runs against the Brewers. Ground ball toward the hole, and that's where VR was playing. The side is retired. 5 of his 10 home runs have come against the Milwaukee Brewers. This was a loud number 5. It was out fast. Greg Farnese kept an eye on it. It's 2-0 Phils.
behind 121 here at Citizens Bank Park. This is a really cool feature at the ballpark. We wanted to show you guys how this works. Everybody wants a bobblehead. Mike Schmidt, you already have one, but the rest of us, we don't. So this is how you do it. You just tap on the morphing station right here. You choose your body type. You can choose your skin color as well. I'm pale. I'll go with that one. Go with that. Now you can choose your hair. Tom, excellent choice on your part. I'm going to go with the baseball hat, okay? Now here's the hard part. You got to put in your email address. The reason to do this, they're going to send you your bobblehead via email. You can share it on social media. Punch in the quick phone number. Got to do this part. So we'll get that done. Hit accept, right? Now you're ready to go. So if my information is correct, time to make the bobblehead. I'm tall. I'll go to the top camera. I'm going to get in my spot. Look right here, and there I go. I have my official bobblehead that I can share on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram as well. And we got a line going out the door to try it. Tom, I hope you were happy with your bobblehead. You can come here, you stop here to get bobbled behind one section 121, thanks to the good folks at Coca-Cola. So what a fun time, right? You guys ready to get your bobbleheads? Oh, they're ready. I got to get out of line. I jumped the line. So
I was just happy.
There you go, guys.
I was happy that I could find hair again. That was a cool thing. And Murph, by the way, are you tall?
Well, I'm taller than these guys, aren't I? So right now I'm tall. Yeah, absolutely.
It's a cool thing. As Kirk Neuenhuis hits one on one hop to second base. And it's really right behind home plate. If you're coming into the ballpark, you just go to the right. There's Murph has it down now. It was a little slower this morning.
That is great product placement right there, Tom.
That was very subtle. That was only my third Diet Coke at that point in the day.
You're probably on 6 or 7 by now.
Wired up, baby. But it's right behind home plate, and it's a new thing this year. It's great. I mean, we saw the line of the kids, and the kids obviously love to do it. And the fact that you can keep the photo of it as a keepsake. And Murph's right. Who doesn't want a bobblehead? And he is taller than those kids. Yeah. The ball's a 2-strike to Hernan Perez. And he hits that one softly to left for another base hit. So he's 2 for 2.
One to right, one to left.
Yeah. That's good hitting. I'm telling you, I know Aaron Nola was thinking, there's no way that he'll be on a curveball after he hit that rope to right center. 0-1 last time up. 2 good swings. The first, this guy's got to figure he's going to waste one up and in or something, right? Starts one right at his left shoulder, breaks 4 feet over home plate, and he ropes it to left. How do you figure this game out?
Outside, 1-1, or 1-0, I should say. Ramon Flores singled his only time up. Just a bit outside, and it's 2-0. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Jose Fernandez has 12 strikeouts for the Marlins. They lead Matt Harvey and the Mets 1-0. That game's at the top of the 7th. That's back-to-back solid outings for Harvey, but Fernandez, and you figure he's just going to keep getting stronger coming back from Tommy John surgery. Breaking ball, and it's 2-1.
That baby came from a long way out there. Found that outside corner. You have to quit on that ball, don't you?
You would think. Of course, I had the advantage being a switch hitter. I had that pitch coming into me.
2-2.
Didn't mean I would hit it, but it was coming into me.
Well, I think his is tough even for if it's coming in on you because it has such movement.
And that
just
arm,
keeps on coming.
his arm angle has to be uncomfortable for a right-handed hitter to begin with.
Definitely. Are you kidding?
2 balls, 2 strikes to Ramon Flores. See there, it just keeps coming in on you. Now, he was kind of peeking out over the plate. Runner goes, pitches outside, ball 4. That is walk number 2 issued by Aaron Nola. HP's new series of color LaserJet printers deliver unmatched quality, and their Jet Intelligent toner cartridges print up to 1/3 more pages. Get yours from who? But WB Mason today and experience the difference. Nobody beats WB on HP.
We get a little bunt play coming up here.
Well, they tried it the last time, and he did get it down. If he has that same bunt this time that he had last time, they got to force at third base. And he bunts it in the air, foul.
I think they would have had a shot, because last time it was first and third. I think they would have had a shot at Flores at second base last time, but his secondary lead was exceptional. Even though Peralta bunted right out in front of the plate with Cameron's arm, he would have had to play at second. But give Flores credit, who is currently at first base, for getting off so quickly.
Ball came back, changeup came back, 0-2. Ed Cedar, who has lasted through 3 different managers, laying down the signs over in the third base coach's box. And Peralta bunts at and fouls for strike 3. 7 strikeouts for Aaron Nola.
You know, get a shot of Ed Cedar. You mentioned him at third base coach. I notice how he lets the runner on second base know where the shortstop or second baseman are by he moves towards home plate as the shortstop moves in behind the. Watch him. Maybe we can get a shot of him. When Freddie moves, he moves towards home plate. When Freddie moves back, he moves back to his coach's box rather than, I guess, yelling back, or you got room, you got room.
The yard takes outside.
Come on, Ed, show us.
All these different signals.
I guess with
that guys have.
I guess with 2 outs, they're going to hang back and really not jump in. But
out of play, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to VR.
Even that ball he hit had good carry. It ended up going way down off the facade, down the left field line.
Outside, 2-1. He's about to throw a 70th pitch. That's a high pitch count for Aaron Nola. He just doesn't usually get to this point. Pitch counts aren't normally a problem for him because he's right around the strike zone. But he's walked a couple today. He's run some deep counts. Change up, hit foul again down the left field line.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that this VR might see the leadoff hitter for the National League in the All-Star game. Any chance of that?
Well, I think he could be on it representing the Brewers. I don't know if he'd be the starter, though. That's the only thing. If he'd be voted on. That one's out toward left center field. On the run is Odubel Herrera, and he tracks it down in the alleyway. Well, the side is retired. If that had gotten past him, this may have been a tie ball game. But instead, Odubel Herrera is able to make the grab. He went a long way, got to the spot in plenty of time, and Aaron Nola, well, he appreciated it. Jonathan VR, Not so much up the first base line. We'll head to the bottom of the fourth. 2-0 Phils. Let's go places. Let's go Phils. It hasn't been easy through the first 4 innings for Aaron Nola. He's had some base runners to work around, but he still leads it 2-0. In fact, the Brewers have left 7 through the first 3 or 4, I should say. Jimmy Paredes will lead it off. It'll be Paredes, Cameron Rupp, and Cody Ashley. 3 unassisted. And 1 out. Here comes Cameron Rupp.
I know Willie is a guy that throws a lot of fastballs at 65.1% of the time this season. He's throwing a fastball. But if that fastball isn't exactly where you want it, go ahead and let it go.
You're going to get another one.
You are.
At some point. There's Rupp. May have been the pitch he swung at the last time that he crushed up the third base side.
Well, you're forced to take a strike anyway, or at least take the first pitch if the leadoff hitter in the inning makes an out on one pitch. That's one of the downsides if you're leading off an inning, to swinging at the first pitch is what you do to the guy behind you.
Third, huge hop for Perez. And there are 2 quick outs here in the 4th. And Cody Ashley's coming up. Phillies fans, the 2016 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot is here. Head to Phillies.com and choose your hashtag ASG worthy stars and send them to the MLB All-Star Game presented by MasterCard on July 12th in San Diego. Vote today, vote tomorrow, vote at Phillies.com/vote. Phillies did not have anybody in the top 3 at any of the positions on the most recent voting. I agreed with the sentiment of some of the writers that Odubel Herrera deserves to, be given some thought.
Yes.
And then from a pitching standpoint, it'll depend on the league and what they decide. The Phillies certainly have guys that warrant consideration, whether it be Nola, Gomez, Neris. There's Genmar in the middle.
Good swing by Cody. I think his timing's still just a little bit off. Not getting a You know, I think that's a pitch right there. That was a hanging changeup. Very, very good pitch to hit.
That one's hit sharply off the glove of Chris Carter, and that'll be a base hit for Cody Ashe.
Well, he got to that pitch nicely. That ball was inside, pulled the hands in, smoked it. See Carter going after this. And
Ouch. Ow. You know, actually, those don't hurt as bad as you think. I know you took some pitches off of that part of your hand right there. In fact, I think you guys a lot of them wear a pad down there.
some of them do, yeah.
Toss over to first.
It's the part of the wrist that's, if you were wearing a wristwatch, it would be right underneath, closer towards the hand. It's this bone. Boy, you'd go down to block some pitches and it would just be, oh, it's just nothing you could do.
Yeah, he has a wristband on, but that was not protecting that spot.
Yeah, that's not going to help a whole lot.
No balls and 1 strike to Cesar Hernandez. Outside.
He and his buddy Freddie, they're going for that open jersey look, are they not?
Yeah, they are. They do.
Miguel, Freddie, and him.
If it feels good, do it. Got 1 button or 2?
That's at least 2. Freddie, there you go. He's way down there.
Runner goes from first, pitches in the dirt, gets by Lucroy. Cody Ashe will get a stolen base, his first. Well, the Nationals have turned the tables on the Reds. They lead at 8-5. They scored 5 runs in the 4th and 3 in the 5th. Daniel Murphy and Bryce Harper both picked up RBIs during that stretch. It was a 5-0 lead.
You were wondering if Daniel Murphy can keep it going.
Well, maybe
he's sustaining.
That one's looped out to right center field. That'll drop for a base hit, and it gets by Santana. It's going to the scoreboard, and Hernandez is on his way to third. Ashe scores easily. 3-0 Phillies on top.
I don't mind that effort there by Santana, because the ball gets down. Cody Ashe's going to score anyway. Might as well go ahead and dive, but now you have a runner at third base with 2 outs, and you're going to clear the pitcher here.
Nice hitting, a little backdoor over the middle of the plate, slider, a little up in the zone there. Crushed again.
His first at bat.
Cesar's hot, lined out to left field.
Yep.
So a triple for Cesar Hernandez, his 4th of the year. And Aaron Nola takes inside. 3-0 Phillies on top. The final game of this 4-game series, trying to split this 4-game series with Milwaukee. Swing and a miss. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nola.
A little 2-out lightning there. Love to see it. I like that Cody took off. You're going to forget about him over there at first base. Put yourself in the scoring position.
That was his 3rd career stolen base. 97 from Peralta, and it's 1-2. Swing and a miss, and the side is retired, but the Phils score another run on the triple by Cesar Hernandez that brought home Cody Ashe. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 man left at third. On to the 5th, 3-0 Phillies. Great students join Ryan Howard and his teammates as they act out scenes from a book in the Little Rhino series during the Little Rhino read-along on Wednesday. Proceeds benefit the Phillies MLB Urban Youth Academy through the Ryan Howard Big Peace Foundation. Go to Phillies.com/read-along for more information. Well, here at Citizens Bank Park, there's plenty of food and places to go to pick up your favorite lunchtime or dinner time meal. How about Wahoo's? That's open this year for the first time. They brought up some food into the room earlier. They brought up some quesadillas, some soft tacos. There's some soft tacos right there. It's right by the Wayback Burger place and near Harry's statue here at Citizens Bank Park. We appreciate them doing that. They have a location in Center City as well. And as we begin the top of the 5th inning.
Scooter Gennett.
Scooter Gennett. He's 2 for 2.
2 pitches.
Throw him a curveball, boys.
Here it comes.
And it is for a strike. It's 0-1. Scooter is now 5 for 14 in this series. Fly ball shallow left center. Galvis backs up on it. He says he has it. And 1 out. Jonathan Lucroy's coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. It's time for our Coors Light Cold Hard Fact, brought to you by Clean, Crisp Coors Light. How about this? It's the strikeout to walk ratio in the National League. Now, it's Clayton Kershaw. His ratio is off the charts. 18.17 strikeouts to walk ratio. That's amazing. But there you see Aaron Nola in 3rd place in the National League at 5.85, followed by Greinke and Matz. Syndergaard on that list as well. So Aaron Nola in very good company. Certainly, Clayton Kershaw is in nobody's company when it comes to that. That is absolutely incredible. But the rest of the guys doing what they need to do as well.
I mean, that's a huge difference. Yeah. 18.17 to 9 is number 2. It is great company to be part of. As Lucroy pulls it foul, it's 1-1.
Does he walk one hitter, every 2 games?
Kershaw? He had 5 walks going into last night's game.
Oh, it's worse than that.
Or better than that.
Better than that, yeah, that's what I mean.
He's in the territory of Cliff Lee a couple years ago when Cliff was just striking guys out and not walking anybody. As Lucroy pulls one through the hole on the left side. Yeah, he's shattering any of his marks too. When he won the MVP and the Cy Youngs.
He only went 6 innings last night, and his quote was phenomenal. He said, 6 innings isn't why we're here, Kershaw said. That's not acceptable. I'll take it for tonight, but I don't want to hold 3 innings for the bullpen. That is an awesome quote.
Well, he left with the lead, correct, in that game?
Yes.
Well, this is what Nola has done today. 2 walks in 4 1/3. 7 strikeouts. As Carter takes outside 1-0.
Yeah, these next 2 hitters have been having a rough day. Let's see if they can make an adjustment.
Chris Carter and Domingo Santana, the next 2 hitters, with 1 out. That one's hit back toward the middle and just too hard for Cesar Hernandez to have any kind of play on it. And the Brewers have runners on first and second with 1 out.
Well, take that back. That was an adjustment right there, man. That ball was smoked right up the middle.
Goes back to Murph's graphic before about the trajectory of his hits. I mean, that one, bam, right up the middle. Well, this is where he has done his best work today, Aaron Nola, that is, when the Brewers have a guy in scoring position. You don't want to always do that, but he's been able to do it.
I'll tell you, that's a great label to have as a pitcher. For the guys around the league, man, I tell you what, this guy's tough to score on. He sees those earned runs out there, and he just, clamps down. I'm telling you.
You know who was like that was Halladay when he was here with the Phillies, and he was with the Blue Jays too. But Doc's numbers, they went down when he was had runners on base. Santana's really having trouble hanging onto that bat today. 1 ball, 1 strike.
No matter how much he almost got fielding Culver for that, that would not have felt good. This is why I like the actual pine tar rag with the rosin, because that stayed sticky. The Manny Motor stick would get hot and humid. I think it would get kind of gooey and slippery.
There's the Manny Motor stick, which is a combination of rosin and pine tar.
Jeez, this guy's a wrecking crew. Tell you what, that's just something for wearing that helmet, right?
Why we wear them?
Bonk. Oh, it's the mask, yeah.
Got him. Strikeout number 8. The 3rd time he's gotten Domingo Santana. There are 2 outs here in the 5th inning.
Here he goes with the old breaking ball. Why not? It's been that good. Just have to keep throwing it. That is so cool to slow. You see how many times that ball, the rotation of the baseball.
Yeah, great shot.
Well, now Neuenhuis, who's 0 for 2. He has 3 hits in his last 40 at bats. He has runners on first and second. Takes a changeup in there for strike 1, 0-1.
I suppose they put that motor stick together, like they pour a bunch of pine tar and rosin in a bowl and a cauldron and mix it together.
I think that's exactly how they do it.
Probably heat it up and then just put it into the
pour it in the sticks.
Yeah, and then it hardens up.
As you can imagine, you walk around the cage downstairs, they're all over the place.
They are.
They're in the bat rack, they're on the floor. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Neuenhuis. Aaron Nola trying to get through this 5th inning. The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Strikeout number 9. The Brewers are 0 for 10 today with runners in scoring position. They have left 9 through 5. We'll head to the bottom of the 5th. Phil's up 3-0. minor league reports. Citizens Bank, the next time you have a question about money, don't keep it to yourself. Ask a citizen. Logan Moore, 3 hits, including a home run. Lehigh Valley lost to Charlotte 8-4. Roman Quinn, he's hitting for power for both sides of the plate. He's had himself a heck of a May. Good start in June as well. Kyle Martin, 3 RBIs for the Threshers as they defeated Jupiter 4-3. And Lakewood lost to Hickory 7-2 in yesterday's ball game. By the way, Lehigh Valley's leading its game right now 3-0 over Charlotte. Same as the Phils here in the bottom of the 5th. Darnell Sweeney has a 2-run home run. Andrew Knapp has hit his 7th home run. Jake Thompson is pitching well in that game for Lehigh Valley. Odubel takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. It'll be Herrera, Galvis, and Franco.
The 3rd inning that Odubel has led off.
He's 1 for 2.
Wow.
Look at his reaction with the whole plate umpire.
Luke Roy backhanded that ball, didn't
he? He did.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that baby whizzing by you in the stands there?
No.
God. They're waving somebody down there again.
Well, it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. You see Odubel looking down. He saw where that ball went. Taps it foul into the dugout.
That's what makes a good hitter right there. Is Odubel I think he's the best I've seen around here putting the bat on the ball. In other words, he will chase that ball down with 2 strikes and put the bat on it.
He's still among the leaders in pitches per plate appearance.
Shows you how good his hand-eye coordination is, and to have as much movement as he has and still find a way to get the bat to the ball.
But you know that means you are trying as hard as you can try not to strike out. You're not, you're making a late decision. You're letting the ball get on you, and you're not trying to hit a home run or drive the ball. You're just trying to get a piece of it with 2 strikes. Hence 312-ish or somewhere around in there. I don't see the average up there, but it's there.
Came in at 305. He's got it to 307 now. And he stays alive, and Lucroy can't hang on to the foul ball. And it remains 1-2. Can't practice it, Ben.
You can't.
Chopper back toward the middle. Scooter Jeanette has it, throws. Not in time.
And I'll tell you what, I don't like diving into first base, but I think the dive got it for him. I actually do. Yes, I do. Because he would have lunged. He would have lunged with a foot to try to beat that throw, and I think the throw would have beat him. And I think the dive. I actually think the umpire got excited when he saw the dive. Watch. He actually dove over the bag.
Past it.
Watch.
He did get his palm on it.
Ow. Then his left hip landed on the bag. He smelled that one, didn't he, Mike?
Yeah, he's going to smell a lot of other things, too, the way he took a face plant there.
And I especially don't like it for him because of that finger injury that he had in spring training. You don't want to re-injure that.
Well, that's his 2nd hit of the day. He's 2 for 3. He's aboard for Freddie Galvis. There he goes. Pitches outside, throw to second base by Lucroy, and it's dropped by VR. I think Odubel had it stolen anyway because of where the throw went.
Those kind of things you can do right here when you're leading in a ball game like this. Yes. A little freedom, a little relaxation.
That's a very good jump there. Lucroy with a decent throw to the wrong side of the bag, but
see, now I'll tell you, we talked earlier how I to a fault, injected myself into the game more than I should. I put the bunt on right here.
That ball is off the plate. It is a fair ball.
Good. That's fine. Yeah. Freddie may not like it, but I guarantee you, we come out of this with a run. It's 4-0. And they're going to be hard to beat us with that extra run.
Well, it goes down as a sacrifice. And Odubel read it. He just kept on going.
You got a guy that's hot right now. Franco swinging the bat good, coming off a home run. Joseph.
And you're going to have the infield in, which gives Michael all that more of an advantage.
So runner at third, and now the Brewers will play the infield in. With Franco over third base, Phillies up 3-0. They scored single runs in the first, the third, and the fourth.
I'll tell you another thing I'd do right now if I was a manager. I'd walk Franco.
Face Joseph to maybe set up a double play.
Most guys wouldn't, but that's probably why I'm not a manager.
Exit velocity on his home run was 108 miles per hour. 1 ball, no strikes. Now they are going to put him on. In all honesty, it can't hurt. I mean, Tommy Joseph has grounded out to shortstop twice. I mean, the Phillies will look for a fly ball, but if you're the Brewers, they get a ground ball to short, they may get the double play to get out of it.
He's already hit 2 today.
Odubel Herrera was a Rule 5 pick just a season ago. He talks about why he's so grateful to the Phils for giving him a chance on an all-new Phillies clubhouse tomorrow night at 11 right here on CSN. One of 2 Rule 5 picks, 2 Rule 5 picks the Phillies have on their roster. The other, Tyler Goodell. Saw some folks wearing the jersey of one of the better Rule 5 picks baseball has seen. Shane Victorino walking around the ballpark. Tommy Joseph looking to drive in a run here. Brewers have begun bullpen action.
Let the ball get on you. Let it get deep. Shoot it to right field if you can. Shoot it up the middle. You got you an RBI.
So balls in 1 strike. Toyota Major League Scoreboard. Marco Estrada has no-hit the Red Sox through 6 innings. The Blue Jays and the Red Sox are in the top of the 7th. The Jays, 3 games over 500, playing better, are up 5-0. Toronto's in 3rd place in the American League East. 3.5 games behind the Red Sox.
Good pitch to drive there for Tommy.
And that's when you get to cut that swing down, put the ball in play.
Blanco and Hernandez going over some things in the dugout. Ground ball foul again. She had it.
Andres Blanco's a heck of a teammate for these guys.
He is.
He's a real student of the game. Always saying positive things to the guys. They go to him. You saw Blanco go to him after the home run, give him a hug.
The thing about Andres is that he's not afraid to voice his opinion to those guys. He's honest with them, which is good. center field. Santana going back on it. It is gone! Right now, a 3-run home run. A fan may have leaned over and brought it into the stands. The umpires will confer. They signaled home run. Jim Reynolds, the first base umpire, signaled home run. It's an opposite field shot that has given the Phils a 6-0 lead at this point. But we shall see if the umpires decide to take a look at this.
I hope this does stand, but what a nice job of hitting by Tommy Joseph.
Great 2-strike hitting. You can see you can let the ball get in on you, still clear your hands, stay inside the ball. Trying to throw a little fly ball to right field, and you got a little 3-run home run, and it might have been below the fence.
It might have been below the fence. Yeah, just
still
looking at that
hitting.
angle. he still gets at least the 1-run home, and then it depends on what the umpires believe. They'll confer. They can look at it.
Missile.
And they're better off looking at it at this point, and that's what they'll do.
I still would have walked Franco. No, I'm serious.
I think that was a good decision because he set up the double play. Watch it again. Watch the arms of the fans. They're over the fence, unfortunately. Now, whether the angle would have let that slip over the wall. Take a look here. It looks like that's fan leans over the fence and interferes.
And what's not good about it, and I think it will be a double, is that Michael's not going to score.
Right.
Initially. Now, if this ball caroms off that metal railing, it could go anywhere.
You're right.
Yeah,
so this is
a double.
Yeah, this is called a crew chief review. That's what the official rule of it is. So they're talking to New York. They'll look at all the angles that we have, including the ones that we've shown you. And as Ben said, it should go down as a double if they decide it's not a home run for Tommy Joseph. And he'll get an RBI. And Franco, who was at first, will go back to third.
And I'm not saying that Michael would have scored because
no, but I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Off that metal railing, who knows where it's going to go.
And I think the other thing that you talked about, how the ball jumped. I mean, it jumped off the bat of Tommy Joseph.
Such a good approach to be able to trust yourself that much as a hitter. That ball just splits the plate, not trying to do too much with it, but yet you can still hit it that hard.
See the young man with the Velasquez jersey. He's leaning. So is the gentleman next to him.
All four of them were.
Yeah, there's a lot of leaning going on there.
But that at bat right there is exact example of what we don't get enough of out of our guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that's a professional at bat.
Yeah, you got 2 strikes against you. You foul one off.
Understood. He did roll over a couple of balls. They ended up foul, you know him, and he put the bat on the ball. But the pressure was on. 2 strikes. Got to make contact. Going to let the ball get deep and fight it off. Worst case, he'd have fought that off for a sacrifice fly, right? But he got enough wood on it to almost hit the home run if he ends up getting a double. But that's the kind of at bat with men in scoring position you need to have. No rollover. Ball going up the middle, right center. Production.
Chatting with Peter Borges. You know, the umpires are taking a long time to look at this. They're also looking at where the runners are. I thought it was pretty clear that if there was interference that Michael would go to third.
Can't be that much fun to stand on a mound after you've given up.
Yeah.
You've given up 6 and you're playing catch with this guy. Trying to tell you now whether you've given up 6 or whether you've given up 4, right?
Well, Craig Counsell's going out to talk to CB Buckner. Here's the decision. Fielding Colbert to your left is the crew chief, and here's the call.
Holding.
So yeah. 1 run scores. They point to third. That's where Franco goes, and then points to second, where Tommy Joseph goes. He'll explain it to Pete McCannon. And then it'll be explained to Craig Counsell, who already knows, and he's going to go out and take the pitcher out of the ball game. So an RBI double for Tommy Joseph. and the Phillies now lead it 4-0. We'll be back with a pitching change right after this. Guys, here's the question one more time. What two former Phillies made the 1978 All-Star game for the Milwaukee Brewers?
I'll go with the one I think we both would have gotten. Don Money.
Don Money is correct. That's number one.
No, you can take
Benny
it.
go.
I was only a year old at the time, so.
Larry Heisel?
Larry Heisel is correct.
Great, because Larry Heisel, what a great athlete that guy was. You know, he's one of the greatest basketball players ever to come out of the state of Ohio.
Really?
Portsmouth, Ohio, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Did you play against him?
Nope. He's a little older than I was, but I saw him play because I was like a freshman, and we used to play them on a long road trip, and the varsity played him at home one time, and he was signed by Tony Lucadello, as well as me.
Guy did a nice job. Guy did a nice job.
Larry Heisel.
He was an outfielder in the big leagues. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're the winner of a Phillies prize pack. So the Phillies have runners on second and third. Franco's at third, and Tommy Joseph's at second. That's because Joseph's ball was interfered with by a fan and then deemed a double by the umpires after review, which I think everybody's in agreement with was the right call. And now with the infield in, Jimmy Paredes will bat against Neil Ramirez.
Tell you what, that's a different. That is the most drastic infield in positions I have ever seen. Wow.
Yeah, see where VR is, the shortstop,
and that's almost in the batter's eye.
And he's moving too as the pitch comes in, or at least he was before. See, he's creeping. Oh. One ball, one strike.
And how could he not catch your eye if you're a hitter?
I think that's his design, right? You think?
He made a hard move to the right then. I wonder if that signals sinker away to the hitter.
Inside, and it's 2-1.
That's great for Tommy Joseph. But how much better would a 3-run homer be?
Would have been great for everybody.
I know.
How about that one? You want a 3-run home run? There it is. Jimmy Paredes drills one into the seats in right field. And the Phillies now lead it 7-0.
What a quick bat. That ball was tattooed.
I'm stumped. I can't understand why they just don't wear these uniforms all year. Huh?
Right before Paredes steps in the box, Mike held up 4 fingers. Like, how do you not walk him here?
Well, yeah, hindsight made me look good saying that, but it goes right back to the whole thing. I like, why not have the double play in order, right?
Short stride, and he knew it.
Boy, off the bat, it sounded like it was going to go far.
Well, you know, I only say that's great hitting for sure. But with Cameron, who's trust me, tough out as well, but he's so much more vulnerable to a rollover ground ball or, a chopper or something, with his speed.
Well, for Paredes, his first home run in a Phil's uniform. Two of those runners are charged to the line of Willie Peralta, who's done after 4 1/3 today. He's charged with 6 of the 7 runs.
Oh.
That one's hit deep. Left field, way back there. It is gone. A long home run for Cameron Rupp. His 4th of the year. 8-0 Phillies. Wow.
Offensive explosion. Fun to watch. This guy's been held down so much. I'm happy for him. It's fun to watch this. Have some fun, guys.
They may keep these uniforms.
This is fun to watch.
Little tomahawk.
Get on top of that, Mike.
Little tomahawk.
I saw you do that quite a number of times in your career. That ball's hurting.
That's been part of what they've been trying to do with Cam, too, is to try to get on top of the baseball like that. As Ashley takes high, it's 1 ball and no strikes. Phillies had gone a long time since hitting 2 home runs in the same inning until this series. Now they've done it twice in this series. 1 ball, no strikes to Cody Ashley. Back to back with Paredes and Rupp. It's been since August 22nd of last year against the Marlins that the Phillies went back to back. 2-1 to Cody Ashley.
I like seeing this too with the Cubs coming in town. At least they can. I know a long way to go in this game, don't get me wrong, but hitters can feel a little bit good about themselves going into that series.
Basically the same pitchers they faced in Chicago.
They miss Arrieta again?
They miss Arrieta again. Five runs in the 5th inning, season high for 1 inning. That tells you where the offense has been, too.
Both those ball stuffs, they were not cheapies.
Man, we got them so excited they're doing the wave.
Doing the wave.
Swing and a miss, and Ashley strikes out. 2 outs here in the 5th inning. Be the 2nd time in this homestand they have sent 8 men to the plate in an inning.
Mike, you mentioned the uniforms. What was your favorite one to wear? Did you like these? Did you like the baby blue ones? No preference?
I gotta be honest with you. I like the ones they wear nowadays.
Do you?
Yeah. Much better than the ones we wore back then. Back then I thought it was pretty cool. You know, when I was drafted by the Phillies, I went, man, that's sweet. That's that team with the red Adidas spikes. Remember that? remember that?
Yeah.
They, Boa and Doyle had a picture in Sports Illustrated when they first moved into the vet. Showing off, you know, the new colorful. Whoa.
Doing Heist tracks it down.
You know, it's showing off the colorful uniforms and spikes and logos and all that kind of stuff. And so I was pretty keyed up about it then.
Well, I think this kind of gets everybody keyed up. This is Tommy Joseph with a double, and then Jimmy Paredes follows with a 3-run home run. And then he goes back-to-back with Cameron Rupp, a shot to left field. And the Phillies lead it 8-0. Continuing to solidify a spot in the back of the Phillies bullpen. Hector came out firing on all cylinders in April, and it continued through the month of May. He allowed just 4 earned runs in his first 25 appearances. He is among the NL relief leaders in strikeouts, and he was holding righties to an .043 average coming into the homestand. The 26-year-old Neris is having fun. He's sitting down hitters, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, it's that kind of a day. The Fanatic forgot his uniform. He did a little streak in between innings. It's always one of his favorites. He hasn't done it this year. Does have the pillbox hat on. We begin the top of the 6th inning and a ground ball foul.
Back to that uniform thing, you know, they were, you know, home whites and road grays always, you know, up to that point. Pretty conservative look, and that was one of the first, the Phillies in that, we call it blue. What kind of blue do you call it?
Baby blue.
Baby blue uniform was very unique, similar to the color to the Brewers' old uniforms here, road uniforms. So it's kind of fun, you know, to have something like that. We wore white shoes one year, which is pretty neat.
Fly ball left field. Cody Ashley started back. Now he comes in. And one away. I do remember when the Phillies went from the baby blues to the gray. They made the transition.
Now that I liked. I thought it was very classy.
With the maroon.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought they were sharp.
Yep.
There's Ramon Flores. There's the baby blue Pete Rose.
Met that guy up here, right?
We did. He and his buddy, Larry Anderson's buddies.
A little tour.
They could have been 2 of the largest men I've ever seen.
Huge.
And that coming from Ben Davis, who's 6'5". Ramon Flores is up. Alex Presley's out of the on-deck circle. There's Presley to pinch hit. Outside, 2-0. Toyota Major League scoreboard. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays continue in Boston, and Estrada, not an overpowering guy, has a no-hitter through 7. Remember, he took 2 no-hitters into the 8th inning last year. Jimmy Paredes broke up one of them, and Logan Forsythe broke up the other one.
Aaron, in the 90s with pitches, more than likely. See, this is the last inning?
I would think so, depending on how quickly he gets these last 2 outs. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1, 2, 3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Fly ball down the left field line. Cody Ashley over toward the seats. It's going to slice. Ooh, took foul territory. He makes the play. I didn't think there was any chance that ball was going to stay in the yard.
Took a little look at the stands to see where he was, and then realized the ball was carrying a little bit further.
Well, nice job to stay with it. It's our Hyundai defensive play of the game. So if you liked it, we're going to show it to you again.
Cody able to get back on here, find exactly where the fence is. That ball did carry on him a bit. Uh-oh. Got to get back there. But that is your Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Presley takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. And a line drive base hit it to right field for Presley. Came in hitting .210 before that pinch hit appearance. I think if he gets VR here in a reasonable, well, maybe not. He's leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. They have guys that haven't pitched in a couple of days, so it's not like they're burdened out in the bullpen, particularly with a 8-0 lead.
You guys feel any different up here with an 8-0 lead?
Well, we felt this way with the 6-0 lead the other day, and then they made it a 6-3 game. But I think sometimes you reflect on how hard it's been to get runs this year. I mean, we are on the 5th of June, and we're talking about the first back-to-back home run game of the year. And the first time they've scored 5 runs in an inning. Outside, 1-1.
Yeah, 5 in the 5th is a beautiful thing. Good play.
Here we go.
They used to give fans a certificate at the vet back in the day.
It's Michael O'Connor.
Is it Michael O'Connor?
It's Michael O'Connor. Episcopal's own Michael O'Connor.
There was a year
Must
that
be the Sportsnet suite.
There was a year where they gave out a glove for the guy or gal that made the best catch here at the ballpark. That would have qualified.
You would have been in the running for that.
I could use a new glove. Two and 2 to VR. Try to check his swing. Did he go? No, says CB Buckner. Rudder will be off on this pitch. No, he doesn't get a certificate, but he does get a photo of his own.
I'll tell you, it's amazing that something like a baseball can make people so happy.
Oh, we've seen it today with the 2 fans that have interfered. It's tough to back off.
A great thrill.
Runner goes, 3-2 pitch. Ground ball, second base. Cesar Hernandez backs up on it, and the inning is over. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left, and a little streak in. The Phillies hope that this may lead to an offensive streak the way they've scored today. It's 8-0 Phils. By Right. By Nissan. ShopChooseNissan.com. And by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. 8-0 Phillies on top. 8 runs on 9 hits. Jacob Barnes will take over. This kid's got some good stuff. We saw him the other day. And he's going to wind up facing a pinch hitter here. So Aaron Nola's day is complete. Aaron will be credited with 6 innings this afternoon. He allowed 8 hits, no runs. The Brewers were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And he tied his career high with 9 strikeouts. And Tyler Goodell will pinch hit for him here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Nice job by Aaron. Used them all. Yeah, very uncharacteristic, like you said, of that pitch count creeping up there, but able to hold the Brewers in check. It is hard
back toward the Hall of Fame club.
It is hard to do. 8 hits over 6 innings and not surrender a run. That's really bearing down. Getting strikeouts, key strikeouts when you need them.
Ground ball to shortstop. And there's 1 out. Toyota Major League scoreboard. The no-hitter is over. Marco Estrada has given up a run. Chris Young hit a home run that ended the no-hit bid in the bottom of the 8th inning. Poor guy. It's his 3rd time he's lost a no-hitter in the 8th inning in the last 2 years. But he still has the lead, 5-1. Odubel Herrera has 2 hits today and 2 runs scored. And a line drive base hit back through the middle.
It's good to see. He hits the ball hard. He's excited. He should be. He's been mired in a bit of a slump.
Back on track.
Yeah.
I tell you, you keep grinding like he grinds, you get rewarded. Led the game off with a bullet. Had the infield hit, beat it out. Dove into first, bullet back up the middle.
Barnes should be happy that ball wasn't 2 feet to the right.
Freddie Galvis takes that fastball outside, and it's 1 ball and no strikes. Fly ball, shallow left field. Freddie was not happy that he missed that one. And there are 2 outs.
Freddie needs to make adjustments. Needs to try to get on top of the ball and keep it on the ground. Sooner or later, we're going to learn that. I know he knows that's the way to swing the bat at the ball. He just can't seem to get it done enough in the game.
Yeah, and you heard his reaction too. Whether you understood it or not, you could hear how upset he was about what he did. Maikel Franco has scored 2 runs today. And he takes low, 1 ball and no strikes. Odubel leads off first. Short lead off first for Odubel. Inside. There's that old school Schmitty jersey. Without the patches, though. That wasn't 76.
You know, I don't think we'll be swinging 3-0 here.
No.
If you were wearing that jersey back then, you were. 3 balls, no strikes.
You know, 8-0 lead. You mess.
That's true.
You don't want to mess with.
You're right.
That gets to almost to the area of stealing. You know, when you have a big lead like that.
Yeah.
It's respecting your opponent.
Yeah, I think you might be putting one of your own players in jeopardy there.
Mm-hmm.
Right past Juan Samuel. And it's 3-2, so that means Odubel will be off and running.
Then the old argument is, well, I'll tell you, if we agree not to steal bases and score runs, we will if you agree not to score any runs too.
Yeah.
Last 3 games, the Phillies 17 total runs. The previous 7 games, just 12 during that 7-game losing streak. Runner goes, chopper over to third. Hernan Perez throws out Franco, and that'll do it for the Phillies here in the 6th inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. We move to the 7th, 8-0. Phillies on top. Those are a lot of the components for today's 8-0 lead for the Phils as we go to the top of the 7th inning. The Brewers are 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position. Our game summary brought to you by the Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Franco, Paredes, and Rupp each have home runs. Paredes and Rupp went back-to-back. Nola's done after 9 strikeouts. That tied his career high over 6 innings. And he'll give way to Colton Murray here in the top of the 7th. Phillies try to even up the series. 2 wins, 2 losses before the Cubs come in. And Murray will face Scooter Gennett, Jonathan Lucroy, Chris Carter for the Brewers. Phillies will say so long to the Brewers. It's so odd every year when we do this, when we face a team and will not see them for the rest of the year. And we're not even at the All-Star break. Fastball, and it's 0-1 to Gennett, who has 2 hits today. He's 2 for 3. It's a chance for the bullpen to get rolling again here. They've allowed 6 earned runs in 11 innings in this series. 1 ball and 1 strike. just a bit low. 2-1. I think Colton's got that pillbox hat down perfectly. I mean, it is square to his head.
What do you call that? A pillbox?
Pillbox hat. That's what they used to wear. The St. Louis franchise wore it when the National League first began back in the 1800s. And you guys wore it in '76 in honor of the 100th anniversary.
That's what Guainola reminded me of Tekulve, I think, is the hat, probably.
Looked like it was big on his head. Yeah,
because the Pirates wore those hats.
They did.
Yeah.
2-2 to Scooter Gennett. 3 strikes there as he goes down swinging, and there's one out. Well, prior to the ball game today, we had a couple of ceremonial first pitch, and this one was by police officer James McCullough. Now, you may have heard of James McCullough. Back on April 16th, he was shot in the leg trying to track down a carjacking in Center City, and he represented the folks from the 2016 Irish pub Tour de Shore, which will take place on Sunday, July 17th. Now, over the years, the folks at the Tour de Shore have raised nearly $500,000 for the families of firefighters and police officers who have been injured in the line of duty. It's a great event. Our own Greg Murphy is part of it. He has not begun training yet, which we're a little concerned about. Should we be concerned about it?
You should be concerned about it. Yeah, I can't. I need to get on the bike. I was just talking to the folks from the Irish pub, Mark O'Connor, and saying we need to start training. I need to get on the bike. But you're right, Tom. It's an awesome event on July 17th every year. Last year we raised $850,000 on that day.
Man.
So we're looking to raise $1 million. It was great to see Officer McCullough out there today. Another one of the great men and women doing the work here in and around Philadelphia that all of the money benefits. So, yeah, we're excited about it. And today we're having in McFadden's after the game a family-friendly tailgate. So if anyone would like to stop by, some great auction items available. So we look forward to it.
That one's blooped out to right field. So a base hit for Jonathan Lucroy with one man down. And you have items that will be part of the drawing, correct?
That is correct. We have a great autographed Mike Schmidt hat that Mike was nice enough to sign for us yesterday. So that is one of the big items that we're raffling off tonight. So if you come on down and get some tickets, you can win that, among many, many other things.
Got a Maikel Franco game-used bat, autographed game-used bat, a Carlos Ruiz bat as well. And you also have a Greg Luzinski autographed jersey. So again, it's after the ball game. They've raised nearly $500,000 this year so far.
Yep.
Over 2,300 participants so far. How far is the race?
65 miles from the Irish pub in Philadelphia to the Irish pub in Atlantic City. And we don't like to call it a race, Tom. We like to call it a ride.
Okay.
Some folks race. I ride. That's
if you had been training, you probably would race.
Yeah, and I would probably lose. You're right, but maybe I'd be a little bit better at it.
How's that work, Murph? You get like a chase car in front of you, behind you?
Yeah, you know what? Because we benefit police officers and firefighters throughout the region, we basically get the entire route closed down for us. So we're able to ride pretty much a straight shot.
Got to know somebody.
And it pays to know people. But yeah, so but it's 2,000 riders, so it's a pretty big group.
You can follow them on Facebook. You'll get information there, or you can go online at DonorDrive.com. DonorDrive.com.
Last year, Murph and I drove to the Bethesda house to feed the hungry right around Christmas time, and Murph was telling me I asked him exactly what do they do, and the cause and the amount of money that they're able to raise for these families just is phenomenal. And I was really taken aback when Murph told me exactly, the type of families and how the event goes down. It is an awesome event.
You only say that because you'd probably look pretty good in one of those bike jerseys.
Team Murphy jerseys are available too. So.
Oh, are you selling them?
Well, yeah. I mean, you can join our team and you get your jersey. So very official, Tom.
I've seen the jersey. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Carter. Ground ball towards shortstop. This might be 2. Flipped with a glove to Hernandez. It is 2. With a little flash to it. 6-4-3. Side is retired here in the 7th inning. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left. Time to stretch. The Phillies lead it 8-0 over the Brewers. on Friday, July 1st, and Saturday, July 2nd. It's part of the series against the Kansas City Royals. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. You can check out Phillies.com for all of the upcoming promotional schedule. So now as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, Jacob Barnes is done, and Yan Marinez is the new pitcher for the Brewers. Martin Maldonado will take over behind home plate. So a new battery for the Brewers. Marinez 3.68 ERA. Jacob Barnes pitched a scoreless inning. He allowed 1 hit during his 6th inning of work. And Marinez will face Tommy Joseph, Jimmy Paredes, and Cameron Rupp. Well, Aaron Nola got himself into some jams today, but the Brewers were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position when he was out on the mound.
As I said, it's hard to give up 8 hits and not give up any runs, but he was good. The curveball was as good as ever. The fastball had a lot of run, mixing a few changeups as well, but he was very, very, very good and able to get out of a couple really sticky situations today.
Well, it doesn't hurt that his team gave him some runs too as well.
It always is nice to have that offensive support behind you, something that a lot of these Phillies pitchers have not had the ability to have this year, but it's nice to see today.
Well, put it in perspective. Sorry, Mike.
No, impressive number for me is 9th straight quality start.
That's right.
9th straight.
You think about Aaron Nola. In his last 10 starts, he's allowed 2 earned runs or less in 9 of those 10. And by the way, we talk about runs. The 8 runs the Phillies have scored today, they've done that one other time, and that was the 25th of May at Detroit. They scored 10 runs one time, and that was against the Brewers on the 23rd. That ball is whacked into left field by Tommy Joseph. And that's his 2nd hit of the day, and it's his 7th hit in this series.
Well, my comment would be there's a young man that took advantage of an opportunity. Has ever since he's been called up.
I think part of it is that I don't know how he is internally, but outwardly his attitude hasn't changed at all. He still seems to be intense yet laid back, if that makes any sense at all.
I think having gone through what he went through on the whole concussion issue, his career possibly being at an end at one time, the old reinventing yourself attitude that he's had, not giving up on his dream, learning to play first base, plays it quite well, I might add. It's a great story. It's a great story.
Jimmy Paredes is the batter. A 3-run home run his last time up, and he hits that one foul. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
He wanted a 3-run homer and a 2-run homer.
Making his way down toward the dugout. He's going to do a little dancing. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
See here, I've harped on it, I know. But these guys could all become better hitters easily simply by cutting their stroke down with 2 strikes, right? Simply by choking up on the bat, going to a little choke and poke, stay alive stroke. Everybody would be a better hitter. Everybody.
Righty and lefty of the bullpen, Hernandez and Araujo. I think it's so hard sometimes, and it shouldn't be, but for this generation to do that. Down the left field line, that'll be into the seats.
That's a little bit there. It's a good when you see a guy with 2 strikes shooting the ball the other way, he's letting the ball get up on him and staying back. It's a good sign. Funny how a home run, funny how a 3-run home run will let's kind of put the relaxation stroke on.
And a line drive base hit it to center field. Joseph stops at second. Paredes has 2 hits also. Phillies now with a dozen hits this afternoon. So the last 10 games, or last 9 games before this, the Phillies scored 3 runs or more only 3 times, and now they put an 8 spot up there today and have banged out a dozen hits. And you hope it does keep on going.
I really, really hope it does. And think about how much pressure that would take off the pitching staff. Not only the starters, but also the relievers. They come into a ball game, 1-run ball game. They know they still have to be perfect.
I feel like we've said this a lot the last couple of years, how much good pitching has been wasted because they haven't been able to get some runs. Cameron Rupp takes on the inside corner, 0-1.
I guess it goes with what they've been through. Guys like us are going to talk about these kind of things. You know, when was the last time they did that, or last time they did that? And sure wasn't for lack of trying by these guys, but it's just reality. You know, when you go through a drought like they have and they bust out of it like this, I guess we got to take a day to talk about it.
Ground ball to short. That might be 2. Villar steps on the bag, hurdles the runner, and throws to first. I don't know if he'd be able to do that against any other base runner besides somebody like Cameron Rupp, but that was an athletic play.
Excellent play.
Ground ball, and he times it up perfectly. He knows exactly what he's going to do. Cameron, being a little bit of a slower runner, gives him an opportunity to do this.
Amazing he was able to get that much velocity on the ball after throwing it off his right foot.
On a line.
Yeah.
Cody Ashley is 1 for 2 with a walk today. Foul. It's 2-1. 96 from Marinez. Center field. Neuenhuis going back. It's carrying pretty well to the wall. He jumps and makes the catch. And the inning is over. Second time in this series that Ashe has hit one to the wall. This one's tracked down by Neuenhuis. 2 hits for the Phils. They leave one over a third. We'll head to the 8th with the Phillies up 8-0. For deals, visit your local Toyota dealer or buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. Buy McDonald's. Jumpstart your morning with a hot or iced McCafe coffee. Now starting at just $1. And buy your local Ford stores. Peter Borges is on to play right field for the Phillies. Moving from right field over to left field is Jimmy Paredes, as Elvis Araujo will take over out on the mound. Borges is scheduled to bat ninth in the order. The throw from Cameron Rupp sailed into center field as Araujo finishes warm-up tosses. His 19th game. Odubel Herrera was busy giving the baseball to a fan, his baseball, so now he's got to go back and get the one that Rupp threw.
Baseballs. Jeez.
Well, that's what you said, Mike, when you played and when you were a kid going to Crosley Field, right?
I got to admit, I took a glove. If I'd have got a baseball at old Crosley Field, I'd still have it.
That's right. Colton Murray, 1 inning, 1 hit, 1 strikeout for the Phillies. As Santana takes inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I don't think I'll ever get used to how many baseballs a major league team goes through on a given day.
Oh, God.
And not because of throwing it into the stands, but just the ones that are thrown out of the game.
Thrown out of the game, batting practice.
Yeah. You and Larry taking them.
It's over 100.
It's every day they hit how many dozens of brand new baseballs. I remember one time at Wrigley we took batting practice and when it had to be 30-mile-an-hour winds out. I felt like Babe Ruth. Felt like Mike Schmidt taking BP. And balls were just I can't. We probably went through 15 dozen balls easy.
Just point to center field, like Babe.
No.
3-2 pitch. That's hit foul. Come on, Dave. Come up with it.
This is a big moment.
Hands off today.
It's a big moment in Santana's day.
3 strikeouts.
He's got a sombrero on the line here.
Outside, ball 4.
He ducked it.
He did. Leadoff base runner. Time to check in with Greg Murphy. Get updated what's going on around baseball. Murph.
All right, on this Sunday afternoon, it's our greater coverage of baseball presented by T-Mobile. Steven Strasburg recorded his 1,000th career strikeout last night for the Nationals, but had to leave that game because of a calf injury. He did say after the game he thought he was just a little dehydrated out there. He does not expect to miss his next start. How about the Padres? Fernando Rodney has now 21 1/3 innings without allowing an earned run. That is best in all of baseball right now. And the Astros, look out. They're starting to heat up. Carlos Correa hit a walk-off RBI single in the 12th last night. The Astros are 8-2 in their last 10 games after getting off to a very slow start, but a lot of talent on that team, and they're starting to make a move, guys.
Tied at 2 right now in the 7th inning against the Oakland Athletics. That game being played in Houston. I think every time Strasburg gets some kind of injury, particularly now that they've signed him, the Nats just hold their breath. I can see that, though, that he can get a little dehydrated. Swing and a miss. And Neuenhuis strikes out for the 3rd time today. And there's 1 out. And Hernan Perez will be the batter. That was a good piece of pitching right there by Araujo against the lefty.
And that's what you want to see out of your lefties against opposing lefties. You get a lefty down the count, bury him. And that's exactly what he did.
Opposite way. No balls and 2 strikes to Perez. He has 2 singles today and a flyout. Did he go? Yes, he did. The ball gets away from Rupp. The runner moves up to second. Back-to-back strikeouts for Araujo. And we'll see how that is scored. I was looking at the home plate umpire, Fielding Culbreth. He just pointed and then pointed again and then finally signaled strikeout as the ball got away from Cameron. And now Ramon Flores, who is 1 for 2. And he loops it out toward right center field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Santana's heading home. The throw to the plate on one hop is not in time. Santana was really taking his time around third, and the Phillies nearly got him.
Here's the third base coach.
Cedar is livid right now.
I don't know what he was thinking, if he thought there was no throw because it was 8-0.
Maybe he thought it was 2 outs and the ball was going to be caught.
Boy, he is really lucky.
Signal safe. He called himself safe as he crossed the plate. Tell you what, back in the day, right, you could block that plate and ward him off.
That's exactly right.
Whew. Mike Scioscia was the best. He would sit on the plate.
Yeah, he would just smother you.
Oh.
So Martin Maldonado will now bat. It's an 8-1 ball game as Araujo gives up the run.
Yeah, he had 2 strikeouts in a row. Looked good after the walk. Gave up the hit to the left-hander.
Leadoff walk.
That wouldn't sit too well with a manager back in the day, jogging into home like that, getting possibly thrown out or even being close.
Yeah, I mean, if looks could kill. I mean, you guys pointed out how Ed Cedar over in third base. I mean, that was a glare.
Yes, it was.
2-2. It wasn't even as if he had run hard initially. I mean, he was just casually coming around. 2-2 to Martin Maldonado. Popped him up. Shallow left field. Paredes comes in and makes the catch, and the inning is over. 1 run does score, 1 hit, and 1 man left. 7.5 in the books. The Phillies lead it by 7. We'll be back right after this. For Hatfield hot dogs and 4 Coca-Colas for $100, available for select weekend home games. For more information and to order, visit the ticket section at Phillies.com. We move to the bottom of the 8th inning along with Mike Schmidt, Ben Davis, Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. The Phillies are on top 8-1. 8 runs on 12 hits today for the Phils. Cesar Hernandez has a triple and an RBI today. He's hit the ball hard all 3 times he's been at the plate.
He has lined out to left first at bat with 2 men on. Triple. Just missed a ball to center field his last at bat.
No balls, 1 strike. Chopper over the mound. VR knows there's speed, and he just gets Cesar Hernandez.
Has he always been this fast?
Cesar?
I'm really noticing that now, right? Because of the 2 triples.
I could not agree more.
The 2 triples. He's flying around there.
I could not agree more. Looks like we don't remember him being this fast last year.
He must have had a lot of speed hits, you know, speed balls hit where his speed is a factor. The triples and that one.
Yeah, he was moving. And Peter Borges takes upstairs. It's 1-0. Borges hitting 194. Home run and 9 RBIs. Like Ryan Howard, he hasn't started these last few days. Swing and a miss, 1-1. David Hernandez.
Worked a lot with Peter in spring training, and of course hadn't seen him until this year the first time, and I thought he had a nice short quick stroke. He hits the ball well in batting practice. There you go.
Grounder over to third. And there are 2 outs. Yeah, timing, I know you guys know better than I do, but his timing just hasn't seemed to get his hands separated from his body. His timing hasn't been on point this year. Hey, I'll tell you what, he works too.
He does.
I think he needs to work. He needs to get more of a feel of I don't know how to say it, more of a core through his swing. Like Odubel, if you watch Odubel, his entire swing is keyed by his core. In other words, he lifts that foot up, puts that thing down, and he takes a full turn through every ball. And Peter is more, I don't know how to describe. Yeah, it's more like robotical. You might agree with me on this. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disrespecting him. I'm just saying Odubel is more flowing through the ball.
More rhythm.
Exactly. And more dancing with the pitcher. And Pete's like, I'm going to be short and quick. I'm going to be short and quick. And it's gotten him into a robotical sort of a.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's not a rhythmic stroke.
And he's strong as could be.
Oh. No, I'll tell you, I guess what I'm talking about, that's not necessarily a teaching point, but there's Odubel's 4th knock.
Have a day.
34th time this year he has multi-hit games, where he's reached base safely in multi-at-bats.
13 hits. That's Baker's dozen today.
Well, that ties the season high. It's the 3rd time they've had 13 hits. Odubel not being held on over at first base. He should anchor down there with the Phillies up 8-1. That one's whacked foul. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Ball 1 strike. Outside, and now 2-1.
I think Freddie might need a new helmet after this game.
I think it's cracked up a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably not going to turn back the clock for a while.
No.
They can put that one away. I think there's a little anger in those.
There's a little bit.
Are those turn back the clock helmets as well?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
They got the old logo on them.
Old logo on them. Now they may be their regular
old helmets with the sticker. The old
they may have
sticker
taken
on.
the sticker off it. Three and two to Galvis. Those are their normal helmets with just the retro sticker. Those are not the normal hats. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Herrera goes. Pitch is whacked foul off to the left and out of play.
Win the battle. Freddie, get you one. Gentleman didn't even have to move.
Nope. That's a comfortable grab right there. Line drive off the glove of Marizian. And the throw to first in time. 1-6-3. And the side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left. On to the top of the ninth. David Hernandez to finish it off for the Phils.
Trying to finish off the Brewers and get a series tie in this one, 2 games to 2. After these Brewers leave town, the Chicago Cubs are coming, and here's the pitching matchup for tomorrow, Tuesday and Wednesday. John Lester will take the ball for the Chicago Cubs. He'll face Adam Morgan. Kyle Hendricks will take it for the Cubs on Tuesday, and he'll face Jared Eichhoff, and it'll be Vince Velasquez and John Lackey on Wednesday. Same 3 guys the Phillies saw when they were in Chicago, but guys, remember, this one's not over yet.
I hope it's over pretty soon, Murph, because you have your event to go to.
Well, that's true.
David Hernandez will take over here in the top of the ninth. Those are the 3 pitchers the Phillies saw when they faced the Cubs. Hendricks has back-to-back 8-inning games for Chicago, including the one against the Phils. Here's David Hernandez to pitch to Jonathan Villar, and he delivers low. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Fouled away, and it's 1-1.
Another nice job by Colton Murray. Elvis, I thought, threw well. He did give up the 1 run, but a leadoff walk will get you every time. But I like the way Elvis threw the ball today.
I like the downhill plane.
Very good, yes.
Now 1-2 to VR. VR is 0 for 3. He's walked, he's grounded out twice, and he's flied out to center. Try to check his swing. Swing and a miss. Strikeout. And 1 out here in the 9th inning. Well, this is earlier this morning. Look at the Phillies players. They're mesmerized. That's Wes Rose, an ALS patient. He was diagnosed 11 years ago. He is a doctor, Dr. Wes Rose. He teaches at Arcadia University, teaches biology, and Wes has become sort of the spokesperson for ALS here in Philadelphia. The Phillies' big ALS fundraiser is coming up this Thursday here at Citizens Bank Park. I saw Wes and his family today, beautiful family. Saw them today, and he is just an amazing person. And he was the gentleman today who spoke to the Phillies players and coaching staff. So it was nice to see him at the ballpark, and we'll see him on Thursday for the Phillies fundraiser, the ALS fundraiser, the Phillies Festival. Hump, nice job down there, buddy. Great grab. 0-1 pitch to Scooter Gennett. He takes upstairs, 1-1. There it is. Take a look again. We got to show this one more time. Nice.
Standing.
Look at him. Look. He knew exactly where Greg Farnese's camera was showing, too. Oh.
Bow.
Yeah. Who needs a glove? Liner foul down the left field line. I wonder what Hump's what his camera looked like when he was making that play, because it was pointed out toward like right center field. It's even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Another one fouled away. Coming up after this ball game, Tommy Green is standing by for Phillies post-game live. He'll break down this series between the Brewers and the Phils. It's only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. We'll hear from Pete McCannon, maybe one of the Phillies as well. Ground ball towards second base, backhanded by Cesar. 2 outs.
Nice play ranging to his right.
Cesar looks so smooth when he goes. He's a smooth player. He's got great hands, great feel for the game. Hitting wise, when Cesar he's on at the plate, he is a polished hitter.
Well, Aaron Hill will pinch hit for the Brewers. 2 outs here at the top of the 9th inning. And a looper out toward left. Paredes comes in, and it's off his glove. And Aaron Hill is aboard. 2 out single. And Chris Carter will be the hitter.
Well, they heated our keys to the game today, Mike.
Made him get it up.
Make them get that fastball up. They did some damage, and they kept Jonathan VR hitless.
That's hard to do.
Yeah, VR walked his first time up, got over to third.
Yes.
Now you suck.
Chris Carter takes low. It's 1 ball and no strikes.
There's our keys.
Yep. Day started with Aaron Nola, 6 innings, 8 hits, no walks, or excuse me, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts. 1 ball, 1 strike. A reminder, tomorrow night the Phillies will be back at it against the Cubs. This will be on the air at 7 o'clock on Comcast Sportsnet. Runner goes from first, not being held on. It's 1-2. Defensive indifference.
It's good being with you guys this weekend again. Look forward to listening to you, watching you all week.
Feelings mutual, Mike.
Are you roading it, or you
No, I'm here for.
And he's going to D.C.
Yeah.
He's not going to Toronto. We got to leave Canada for Matt.
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
Two-two pitch. Off the end of the bat, spun towards shallow left center. Odubel is there, and the ball game is over. And the Phils have split the 4-game series with the Brewers. They win it today 8-1. It was a team effort from an offensive standpoint. 8 runs on 13 hits. And yes, you could dance a little bit after a victory like that.
You love to see it. Nice to see these bats really erupt today. They did it in a myriad of ways offensively. Long ball, singles. Nice job of hitting with runners in scoring position. And your WB Mason delivery of the game. We'll see it here in the 5th inning. Jimmy Paredes. Wow. 3-run homer to right field after the Tommy Joseph ground rule double. That was the key to that 5-run 5th inning for the Philadelphia Phillies, and that is your WB Mason delivery of the game.
So the 5-run 5th inning, the most the Phillies have scored in an inning so far this season. They went back-to-back. Paredes did with Cameron Rupp. And Jimmy is down on the field with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right. Thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, here with Jimmy. And, well,